We all know clearly that if we were to prioritize development initiatives, some of the infrastructure that we have are really unnecessary. Some have stayed for 25 years with a lot of money sunk in, and they are not completed. You can't tell me this is the type of development the people want. And that is why I think that all these things are becoming possible, because we seem to focus and are more interested in things that divide us than on things that unite us. And it is because in between the electorate and the government is a space that has been created where some known beneficiaries have nested very comfortably and would make sure that you keep this divide within the country. If we're able to remove that incentive that motivates this group of people of occupying that particular space, I believe we'll begin to see a convergence in terms of our national interest. This, my initial remarks on that issue.
Right. Dr. Benjamin Kunbuor, I have known you beyond the screens. Like many people are connecting to you through the screens, even when you offered yourself and worked in Parliament and out of Parliament. I am very intrigued listening to you and getting your students confirm almost unanimously your depth of knowledge. When you are teaching, you are referring to a dozen books, different books, and you demonstrate that you have read all. In fact, in such detail that you remember very minor things in them. So, what exactly is the problem? I've heard you speak to students graduating, law students, and focus on the question of values, values, values. Is that the missing link?
Certainly, that is it. When you see somebody or a group of people who are active and do not have a value system, perhaps they are just acting and they might not be different from robots. You must have a particular value system. We don't all have to share the same values, but I want everybody to justify his action, his decisions, based on values that I might disagree with. But one of the things that we seem to be lacking in this country is at least a belief in a value system. And values are important whether they come from moral society, they come from the ideological society. At least it gives us a basis for us to have a conversation so that I know where you are coming from. So we can all agree that these are our development imperatives. But for moral, religious, ideological reasons, we might differ as to how we approach. And there are so many common themes or development themes in this country that we all agree on. Most rural communities will want pipe-borne water. Most rural communities will want a good educational system. Most people would want that with us entering cyberspace, we should not be having situations in which some people still use hoe and cutlass to farm. Like I kept telling you people about the interesting thing I find out about postmodernist thought is that I have visited a number of communities and have found a very, very interesting representation of postmodernism. Here is a man farming with a hoe and cutlass. A radio is by him and he's listening to it. And then he has got what? A mobile phone in that rural farm. Have we reached the technological age or the postmodern age? Are we in the industrial age? Are we still part of a feudal system? And this, for me, creates a problem. We have not become solely modern, let alone to be postmodern. We are still trapped in a number of practices that are very traditional and feudal in essence. And we have been coming out with development policies in which people have free cyberspace, and we are still saying the major challenge we have is to create industries. And the concept of industrialization we have in Ghana is very much like the loom technology that we had initially during the Industrial Revolution and the mechanization of the production process. When you are caught up in this type of situation, that you are not traditional, you are not you want to be modern, you even want to be part of the postmodern experience. Who exactly are you? And if you do not know who you are, you might not even be able to articulate your interests. And this is where the value system becomes important. If we have a value system, we'll be very clear in our mind that when we pretend that we are going to achieve so much and we are going to do A, B, C, D, only to realize the fact that you don't control your economy. Your budget is literally subsidized by external sources. And there is not a freebie situation. Before people can give you budgetary support, they would want their interest in the global transactional exchanges. Taking forefront in that. So you don't control your economy. What is all this talk about? I'm bringing development to my people. And these, for me, are the issue. And a typical value we need to have is national ownership of our development initiative.